Hi, I'm Nick Lance. I'm going to be talking about pivoting in order to break the mark. Breaking the mark is important because it gives you more of the field to use and lets your offensive cutters make easier cuts to the dead side. The purpose of this lesson is to teach you how to throw past your mark by perfecting the way we pivot. A few key points before we get going. First, we want to make sure that we're always balanced and in control of our movements. Next, when we're pivoting, we want to make sure that our center of mass always crosses over our pivot foot. Finally, whenever we're pivoting, we don't want to overextend our body. We want to keep a lot of weight on our back and pivot foot so that we don't travel and we're more easily balanced. Now that we have our three things to think about, we're going to make some real slow pivoting motions. People often don't recognize the benefit of going and breaking large motions into smaller, more manageable ones. Swimmers do it, runners do it with their form. It helps a lot, so we're going to do it in Ultimate. The first thing we're going to do is do some very slow pivoting. So we're going to come out here in our flick pivot, and we're going to just slowly pivot into the backhand, taking about 2 to 3 seconds to get there. And as we're doing that, we're going to focus on how our center of mass is going from here to here, so that I don't want anyone pivoting from far in front of their pivot foot to far in front again. Because what happens is you get off balance easier by doing that than if you come straight in a straight line across your pivot foot. Here's what we want this to look like. We're gonna get out wide in our flick grip, and then we're gonna slowly come over to our backhand grip, thinking about where our center of mass is going over our pivot foot. Once we get out here, we're gonna pause and throw a real slow fake. Then we're gonna do the same thing in reverse, going from the backhand to the flick, staying in perfect control and balance, hold and throw a nice slow fake. And we can do that as many times as we need to until we have total control over our body and we're coming over our pivot foot so that we don't have any extra motion. So the next step in this is that we're gonna do the same thing a little bit faster, and we're gonna cut out the fake and the hold. So we're gonna come out here, we're gonna go a little bit quicker and bounce back and forth so that we're coming directly, our weight is coming directly over our pivot foot, and we're doing the same thing. And it's just quicker. And as you get faster and faster, you'll be better and better at pivoting and breaking the mark. In the case that you're having any trouble with this, what we're gonna try and do is set yourself up on a line with our pivot foot directly behind the line and our free moving foot right on the line. And so when we step out and come across, we're gonna step on the line in each direction, so that each time we step, we're on that line. That will force your center of gravity to move over that pivot foot. Once we've mastered keeping our body in control and well balanced, what we're gonna try and work on is pivoting in 2 directions, so that instead of just coming across this way and back, we're gonna have a pivot where we go backwards to, say, come on this sideline, throwing upfield to throwing the dump sideways. What we wanna do here is in slow motion, we wanna be from this position where we're gonna fake a flick, we're gonna be upright like we were before, and then throw a fake to the around. And what we wanna focus on is make sure that our body becomes upright on our pivot foot, and then we turn. If we start turning earlier than that, we're gonna get off balance and not be ready to throw the disc. So I have the cone set up here where my pivot foot is gonna come from here to that cone, over top where my center of gravity is going over top my pivot. So I'm gonna come out here, throw a fake, right my body, and then throw the around. And we're just gonna do that a couple times. And we can come back if we want to. You'll know you're pivoting correctly when you can quickly pivot back and forth and throw past your mark without losing your balance. If you can master all these things, you'll really speed up your pivot and be able to break the mark way more effectively.